It's insane that they interrogated the wife or girlfriend about her immigration status. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. You knowingly see. Okay, here's the thing. We know illegal immigration is going to happen, right? It's a natural part of the way our immigration system works. We don't have like, it's not like Israel and Palestine where there's this giant fucking wall that's guarded by, half the country, and then there's these military checkpoints to go in and out. We don't have that with Canada. We don't have that with Mexico, So there's going to be some sort of illegal immigration all the time. But they knowingly flew illegals in, undocumented illegals in. I have to take my shoes off. I have to put all my metal belongings into this box. I have to go through this thing, this x-ray machine. I have to do all this stuff. But if I was coming illegally to this country, they would just put me on a plane and send me to wherever I want to go, right? With no documentation whatsoever. They knowingly flew these people in. They knowingly let this border get swamped. Trump had put up these, barbed wire fences, and the Biden administration literally cut them down, right? And then told these people at the border to stand down as these people just kind of flooded the country. And then you're going to question this lady's immigration status because she has a squirrel as a pet. Like their idea of what people want in this country is so far gone, right? They are so out of touch with the vast majority of this country because they live in this elitist bubble where they believe that they can just say anything they want and people are going to believe them because they have the legacy media to right there behind them to just tell them, right? I mean, a couple examples. One, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they go out on the campaign trail. Barack Obama, they go out on the campaign trail and they say that Donald Trump is a fascist and all his followers are garbage. And then what happens in the media, right? Every channel outside of maybe Fox, and even Fox to a certain extent, but every channel outside of Fox then immediately goes on TV and says Donald Trump is a fascist and his followers are Nazis and misogynists and sexists and racists and garbage, right? They go out and they say that Donald Trump is going to implement Project 2025. Donald Trump comes out and says, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. I don't like the Heritage Foundation that brought that up. The person that wrote the bill, that wrote the book for the Heritage Foundation comes out and says, yeah, Donald Trump didn't have anything to do with this. This is our idea of what conservatives should do. But they still go out there every day. Donald Trump's going to implement Project 2025, Project 2025, Project 2025, Project 2025. It gets to a point where it's like people don't resonate when they blatantly know that they're being gaslighted and lied to and propaganda. Like people eventually, not everybody, obviously there was 66 million people that still believed that the Kamala administration was going to do all these things that she said she was going to do, even though they have power now and they're not even trying to implement it. I don't know if most people remember this, but Joe Biden ran on offering a public option addition to Obamacare. As soon as he gets in power, didn't stop talking about it, just blatantly stopped talking about it, never happened. They guaranteed that they were going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. They tried to put it into the Inflation Reduction Act. The Republicans nixed going with that. With the act. And so what did the Democrats do? They took out the $15 minimum wage, put the same exact bill without the $15 minimum wage, it gets passed. Then they don't ever talk about the $15 minimum wage. They don't even try to implement it in any other way. So like people look at them and they feel like they're inauthentic, that they're liars, that they're propagandists, that they just say shit to fearmonger. And people are tired of it, Like, people are tired of it. Especially when we know half the country wanted Bernie Sanders in 2016. He gets cheated out for Hillary Clinton. She ends up losing. He goes to run again for president, knowing that, and I mean, it's clear as day that Bernie would have beaten Donald Trump. right? Nobody liked Hillary Clinton. In 2008, when she originally ran for president the first time, she got beat by Obama. But there was a dude by the name of Dennis Kucinich. No, sorry. I forgot his name. He's the former governor of Alaska. But he comes out, and in one of the debates, he says, hey, it comes to a point when we have to realize half the country is just not going to vote for Hillary. Whether it's because they like her, whether it's because, whether it's worth talking about. The fact is, it doesn't matter. They're not going to vote for her. They knew this going into 2016. And then they come out and they have their deplorables, moment where they call half the country I put them in my little basket of deplorables. So people are just tired of being talked down to. You know what I mean? You have these elitist institutions. I'm the perfect example, right? I'm a perfect example of somebody that did exactly what I was told to do. Study hard, go to college, get a degree, you'll get any job that you want. Yeah, it worked for a little bit. I didn't get the job that I wanted, right? But I got into the industry that I wanted to work my way up in. And then one day somebody just didn't like me, and that was it. I'm out. I'm out. I spoke my mind about Barack Obama, and that's it. I'm out of the basket, right? I'm out of the big club. And it doesn't matter how many accolades I had, doesn't matter how many awards I won on any of these TV shows or anything like that. Doesn't matter. Once they don't like you, that's it. Everybody doesn't like you. Doesn't matter. And so we have, half these people go to college like they're told. They get saddled with 30, 40, 50,000, if not more, dollars in debt. And then they can't get a job in a career that pays them decently. You know what I mean? And so people are just tired of it. They're just tired of it. And they see stuff like, raiding a dude's house because he put memes of Hillary Clinton up online, right? And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? They see people being thrown in jail because they decided to go to the White House on January 6th and protest the election, Joe Biden's election win, right? They see, and we know that there were definitely FBI agents in that crowd encouraging people to go into the Capitol. We see Capitol Police opening the doors and letting these people in and walking them through in a very peaceful line. We know that the only person that got hurt was a MAGA supporter because she was shot by a Capitol Police officer. And yet they're still calling it an insurrection, and they're throwing these people in jail for 6-7 years, if not longer. People are tired of it. This is fascism. This is fascism. When you make up 91 indictments, or you prosecute Donald Trump because 30 years ago he told the not Capital One, he told J.P. Morgan Chase Bank that Mar-a-Lago was worth $50 million, and today they decide no, it would have only been worth $20 million. This is something that every real estate agent, real estate developer, architect, builder, this is something every one of them do. But you're telling me that JP Morgan Chase doesn't have somebody that's then going to go to Mar-a-Lago and say, oh, well, you know what? I don't think it's worth this much, right? They get paid back their loan that they gave to Donald Trump. They don't have any problems with it. They continue to do business with this guy. But 30 years later, you're going to find him guilty for frauding JP Morgan Chase? Are you serious? Are you serious? It's just, people are fed up, you can only fuck with people for so long before they decide not to like you anymore. And it's amazing that I'm saying this because it's hard to believe sometimes when I hear my friends talk about this stuff. But the abortion issue, there's not a single state in this country that you can't get at least an early term abortion. There's just not. Now, if you go state by state, and the states that had the legalization of abortion on the ballot, they all won. Abortion won every state that it was on the ballot. Even the ones that Kamala lost. Abortion is more popular than Kamala Harris. Right? So, people are tired of it. Ghost Dave. Hello, Governor. Dude, oh my God, Ghost Dave. Okay, so He had 11 catches, 239 yards, and 3 touchdowns, which is crazy because I don't know if you remember this, but when you came and you said he had that first long touchdown, I was like, oh, yeah, great. I need a day where he's got like 10 catches for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. But so in one league that I have him in, I got 55 because they don't do the decimal points, right? I got 55 out of them. I got 55.4 out of them in the other league that I have him in. It was fantastic. Now my wife, who happens to have Burrow and Chase in one league, she's already won her game. There's no way that she's gonna get she could probably sit the rest of her team and still win. Because I got like, I didn't get nearly as much from Burrow as I did Chase. Burrow, I think, gave me like maybe 29 and a half, 30, something like that, which I'll still take. 30-point day is a good day. But, dude, Chase was unbelievable. And now the crazy thing about this dude is this is not his first 55-point game. He had a 55-point game last year as well. Yeah, right? Yeah, Mrs. Yeah, babe. I had so much to get off because you kind of brought it back out, Nico. And everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? Just play the game. I'll admit my family entered, so I guess I'm a hypocrite for being against it, but my parents fixed their mistake. I honestly don't see much changing for those who are here legally. Yeah. No, those people that are out there going, oh, they're going to revoke my citizenship. What the fuck are you talking about? They're not going to go. They can't just, unless you literally do something, right? Unless you happen to, maybe you murder somebody. Or you're found, you get accused of rape and you're found guilty of like a heinous sexual assault. Maybe they reprimand your citizenship and send you back to wherever you came from. But, like if you're a citizen, you pay your taxes, you don't have any like major felonies on your record, they're not coming after you, bro. They're just not, so like, all those people that are like, oh, I hope the Latinos that voted for Trump get deported just to eat a fucking dick. That's not a thing. And again, illegal immigration is part of the structure, right? Like it's inherently built into our immigration status, and they do that on purpose because illegal immigration makes sure wages stay down. We were talking about the $15 minimum wage that they decided to just ignore after they didn't get it passed after one try. Ooh. The reason they allow a certain amount of illegal immigration is because they don't want the workforce to feel like they've been empowered. And we've had a couple of big wins, So, the Biden administration crushed the railroad union strike. But then, the port labor union, right, the guys who actually ship this stuff into the country, they go on strike, and it basically shuts everything down. And so they're forced to negotiate. And then McDonald's and the fast food restaurants are saying, oh, we're going to up our minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now you have a working class that feels empowered, right? They feel like, okay, we're getting somewhere. We're finally getting some respect. We're getting some power out of the workforce. And so what do? They fled the country with a bunch of illegal immigrants so they can then fire those $15 an hour workers and pay those illegal immigrants who are so desperate, they'll work for $5 an hour. They'll work for $6 an hour. And that's just the way it goes. Like that it's been built in to our immigration status, which is again why it will never change. Do we need immigration reform? Absolutely. But we're not, again, I'm not mad at like people that are desperate because our foreign policy destroys these people's homes and they're forced to come here because they have nothing from where they come. What I have a problem with is not vetting these people and letting 14,000 rapists, 15,000 murderers into the country, and then not deporting them when they get caught murdering and raping people here in America. Like, that's what I have an issue with. I also have an issue with bringing them over, giving them a place to live for no charge, giving them free health care when I pay $2,000 a fucking month for insurance, and then giving them debit cards on top of that so they can buy groceries and stuff. I have a problem with that. And so Like I don't. Again, immigration happens. People say we're built on immigration. That's maybe half true. That's really half true. We're built on slavery. That's what built this country, right? But like I don't mind people coming to this country. This is the greatest place on earth. I don't want to live anywhere else. So I completely understand why they would want to come here and give their children a better life. I just don't want these people that just sneak in here and they're part of a fucking, they're part of the Chinese triads, or they're fucking Japanese Yakuza, or they're Venezuelan gangs, and they come in and they take over people's, like entire apartment complexes, right? Like that's unacceptable. You have to protect your citizens. And then to go in and murder a fucking squirrel because this white Karen asshole bitch cunt lady doesn't like it. People see behind the veil, We're in the Wizard of Oz, and the fucking wizard has been exposed, By the end, he gave you 57. Okay, 57 is what you got from him. Shoot, it's because I'm a much more generous commissioner than the leagues that I'm in. Fucking assholes. And Nico, again, the truth is, it's going to be physically impossible to round up 10, 15, 20 million illegal immigrants and ship them all out of the country. Like, it's just not going to be feasible to do that. And so what I think Donald Trump will focus on is the violent criminals. You know what I mean? And so I think people that are, I think a lot of the illegal, undocumented, I think a lot of the undocumented that are worried about this don't really have a whole lot to worry about. and I could be wrong. Donald Trump could literally, use the National Guard to go after all these people. But I don't find it feasibly possible to go after, because I've heard it's 21 plus million. Like, that's, even if it's only 10 million, they came in here undocumented. Like, and we just shipped them all over this country. Like, we have no idea where they're at. We have no idea who they are. They weren't given social security numbers or anything like that. They're not being tracked like we are on our cell phones every minute of every day. So I just don't find it feasible. But, if you come in here and you commit a crime, or you're murdering people, you're raping people, you're taking over condominiums and stuff like that, you expose yourself. And so I think that those are the people that the Trump administration will focus on trying to get out of here. But again, I could be wrong. You can't play and talk about it. I'm here for you, sweet. Gameplay is second. Politics last. I know, Dave. That's dude, you guys are the best.